It's June 4th, and I thought today I'd talk a little bit about the banana trees. I've had a few questions on a couple of videos that I did on them, so I thought I'd just answer some of the questions that I get most and tell you maybe a little bit more about them. I just measured this one a while ago, and it's a little over 4 feet, which is pretty good for this time of year. And the Musa Basjoo, which is what this is cold hardy up to zone 5A or B, I believe, with heavy mulch. I did a video on how to cover them and all of that, so I won't go into too much detail on that, but if you provide them mulch, they will withstand a pretty cold winter. We had a hard winter and it made it through the winter just fine, as you can see. And one question that I get asked on this one a lot is how often I water. This year we've had so much rain that we really haven't had to water much, but once it gets up around 90 degrees, I have to water my straw bales every day, and the drip irrigation, which is how I water this, is set up on the same line as the straw bale, so it gets water every day. I have a single line running to it, and the dripper or emitter is a 2 gallon per hour emitter, and I water for 1/2 gallon, so it gets a gallon a day during the summer. And another question I get asked is how often I fertilize. This year I fertilized 1 time so far, and I used some high nitrogen fertilizer that time. This time I don't have any more of that fertilizer. I'm going to use some 12-12-12. And what I do is I loosen the soil all the way around the plant. I just started here so you could see kind of what I do. I just kind of make a little trench all the way around the plant, and then I just apply some of that granular fertilizer into the trench, and then I cover it back up. And then once I put the fertilizer around it, I usually water it in real good 1 time, and then after that it's on its own. And I probably will fertilize 1 or 2 more times this summer. I would like to get this thing to flower. It would be pretty rare for it to flower this far north. People in zone 7, 8, 9 probably wouldn't have a problem, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. You really have to produce about 25 to 35 new leaves, which is what the company that I bought the banana tree from says, so that's what we're going to try to do. Let me just look at this one to see how many leaves we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6 is coming out, so we've got a long ways to go, but they do grow fairly quickly once it warms up. Right next to the Musa Basjoo, I have a different, by the way, let me talk about how tall this gets. Last year the Musa Basjoo got to 10 feet for us, and I expected to get probably a couple of feet higher than that at least, because it's quite a bit ahead of last year so far. So that's what we're shooting at. This roof of this shed is probably close to 8 feet or so, and it'll probably go 3 or 4 feet above that. And they say it can get up to 18 feet, but I'd have to see that to believe it. The Musa Velutina, it's a different species of banana, and I overwintered this one. I started it from seed last summer, had very tiny plants, and overwintered it, stuck it in the ground this spring. As you can see, it's got a couple of little pups started at the bottom. They're doing very well. This plant suffered from a little bit of shock when I transplanted it, but it's coming out of it pretty well. And this one, they say you can produce fruit on it as early as 1 year, so that's what I'm hoping for. And the fruit on this will be pink and full of seeds. Neither banana tree produces what I would consider edible fruit. They're just so full of seeds it wouldn't be worth the effort. But they're mainly just ornamentals. And the Musa Basjoo will make it through the wintertime in zone 6A or 6B. And the Musa Velutina, they say, is fairly cold hardy, but I'd be shocked if it made it through the winter here. But we might give one a chance outside. I have another one. It's over there by the fennel. I think I might just leave that for the winter. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the banana trees and answer those questions. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask and I'll answer if I can. If you're just now finding this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Otherwise, like, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.